All right. Welcome everybody to our last YCA peer mentoring chat of the year and of the program. Yeah, I feel like we had a lot of individual one-on-one chats with all of you in November, but it's been a while since we've all been together. So it's really nice to see your faces, but it's bittersweet that this is our last meeting. This is going to be very informal and open, so feel free to just jump in at any moment. With this last session, we really wanted to give everybody, all of us, a chance to kind of reflect on what we've learned about each other, about scientific careers through the program in the last year. And sorry, I'm loading people in as they come in. And we wanted to hear from you how your experience was with the program. What was that you found out about yourself and about your career aspirations. And also we want to hear about any recommendations you might have for future classes, how we can improve the program. We're always refining based on the feedback we get from the students. So that's basically the point of this final conversation. Monica, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I sent you guys an email with some questions that Andrew and Gladys developed to kind of guide our discussion. And as always, you are welcome to, come up and offer your own questions and thoughts. We're really eager to hear from you all, to hear your reflections. So should we get started with, I don't know, Andrew, Garines, who wants to start with the first question that we have for the group?
Yes, hi, I'm starting.
Go for it.
So, hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing great, plus Maria and everything. So, to break the ice, we wanted to start with the question that would be, would you recommend YCA to your fellow peers?
All right, let's see a show of hands, maybe with, you can raise your hand. Let's see, and I'm expecting all of the hands to go up, really, but no pressure.
Me, I can't find the hand raising, but I have my hand raised.
This is Manny on the phone. I'm raising my hand also.
Nice.
Manny.
Hello.
All
yeah.
right. Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, to follow up on that, like, why would you recommend it to people? Why would you recommend this program to others?
Me personally, I would recommend it because it really puts you out there and makes now I feel like I have an extended networking thanks to this program. Not just with people in the US, but also with people in my own building in Ciencias Médicas, because some guys know, like Javier, Rebecca, Carl. I didn't know them, and I was with them, and a lot of them too, Marcus, everyone. I knew them from sight, but I didn't really talk to them or really knew them. So it even opened that door even in my own university. And also all the good and excellent feedback about everything, industry, academic, what to do after our graduate studies. So it has been very, very good. And it has helped me develop professionally.
How about others? And feel free to unmute. We won't call on you. Just go for it.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say a quick word about empowerment in regards to YCA. So prior to applying to this program, I tried to make sure that I was strategic in what I said and what I did and the type of programs that I applied for. And what I mean by that is essentially I felt like I had to hide to sort of play the game, like in order to get awards or do something or get a travel award, talk about how much I wanted to be a PI or this or that. Even though I know that there are other careers out there and being a PI isn't on the top of my list. It's there, it's not on the top of my list. I feel like this is probably one of the first programs that we can openly speak about different types of careers. And you, Monica, and Giovanna are both really open and have the network to connect us to more than just professors, but it's empowering us to use their network and to use their knowledge that they teach us to try to propel ourselves forward in our career. And I think for me, and when I talk to other people about it, to try to recruit others, that's what I tell them. Because again, I feel like there's still this sort of idea like, okay, I need to write that I want to be a PI for my grants or for whatever, just so I play it strategically. But here it's like, okay, what do you really want to do and how can we get you there? And I think that's really important. It kind of fills a person with a sense of empowerment. At least for me, it did.
I feel like I have a grin from ear to ear right now.
I feel the same way. Let's see, who else?
Yeah, I can go. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, good. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So for me, it was like, I feel inspired because you guys not only are mentors, but are colega. How do you say that? Jesus. You guys, everybody, you're so inspiring. And just getting to meet you and getting to then like have you on Facebook and whatnot and see your work, it kind of, makes me want to pony up and I don't know, I just find you guys really inspiring and give me the strength to go after my aspiration. That's it. Bye.
Right. So I just wanted to follow up on what Bianca was saying about empowerment. And I just wanted to add that more than empowering us in terms of what careers we want and what we want to do after grad school, I think it also empowered us for our journey in grad school. So, I just started my second year now. And I think thanks to this program, this was the first time that I'm hearing, all the things that I have to, that I have the right to ask for. Like you're a grad student, you're here to get your training. You really need a good environment. You need this, you need that. So hearing that from people that have gone through grad school and they know what they're talking about and having that advice early on, I think really is going to have a lasting effect on how we conduct ourselves through grad school and also after grad school.
Yeah, any other thoughts?
Hi, this is Manny on the phone.
Go, Manny.
Okay, I think that any one of the many things that we did would make this worth it. So like going to Boston with everybody to that conference, that mind-blowing conference, which is like a really amazing experience. Getting to know all of these Latino scientists, for me, because I'm very lonely, being like the only Latino often in a situation. Rooming with Andrew and like having him help me develop an idea and draw it out. So all of that alone would make it worth it. But then we had like the one-on-one consulting for IDPs twice. We had this project that we were able to do where I was really able to like test out one of my crazy ideas, and it actually worked. And then every single phone conversation we had, I would be really tired and be like, oh, I don't want to call in. And then afterwards, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I called in and got to know all these people. Plus the individual attention that we got. So I think any of that would make it worth it doing this. And we got all of it. So I feel really, really lucky to have been a part of this. And I would definitely recommend it.
Thank you, guys. I mean, it really feels great to hear a lot of that, because that, you know, the empowerment aspect, the aspect of creating community, that's always, that those were some of the main motivators for the program. So it's really great to hear them echoed. And it's always such a marvel to me and to Monica whenever, you know, after that AAAS meeting, after the in-person meeting, to see how excited you guys are after meeting each other. I think, you know, it's such a special moment, the chemistry that happens there. And I think it really speaks to the need for, you know, how isolated sometimes we can become when we're pursuing our scientific, you know, endeavors, and how important that sense of community is, and of having not just a community, but a community where you can talk about specific issues with. So yeah, so it's really nice to hear. And thank you to all that shared information about the program with your friends and colleagues. We saw a lot of people that commented that they had received the information about the program from a friend in their graduate program, or you know, somebody else through email. So, you know, we really, really appreciated you. And we are happy to say that actually this year was the year where we received the most applications, and from the most places actually. So it was pretty tough to select the next class. Andrew, Corines, and who else was the last discussant? Are there any other questions that you want to bring up, Gladys?
I see a few hands up.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so, I mean, we can go in order. Carolina.
So, for me, was the fact that I learned so much about different sciences and the difficulties that other disciplines face that are similar but different from the ones that I face. And it was very enriching for me to learn about all of your experiences and to listen to different aspects of the research. And I'm very grateful to share these spaces with you, to have Christine as my roommate, and to have Giovanna and Monica as leaders and guidance and models of what good ethical research means, and to be aligned with what we really want, despite that is not maybe the main stream or what your PIs want for you, is really to understand early in the year what is that you want, and later in the year to really align, yes, this is what I want, and be comfortable with it and stand up for it. So thank you.
Gracias, Caro. Victor.
I don't know how to start, I guess. Obviously, like everyone said, the conference was like, I think the highlight, since it, like I think I mentioned, especially to Giovanna on our one-on-one meeting, it was like the best time to bring everyone together. So the coming together was definitely the biggest thing that drew us, all of us, to some regards. I just wish it would have been it would have lasted longer, or like there would have been even more prominent than it is. But definitely, I mean, even with the small amount of time, the conference, the bringing together, the exposure to like all the different professions, and obviously the AAAS or any conference was the cornerstone of the program. And I think is where it really builds its strength. And from then, obviously, the conferences, build their way. I guess always try to get back to that experience that we had. So I guess just in general, I think once again the conference was the main thing, and I guess always striving to try to recreate that was probably the best way to keep the whole program together and basically bring meaning or expand the meaning to everyone involved in the program. So yeah, I would say it was definitely a wonderful experience. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Go ahead. If you want to talk, just jump in.
Yes, because I don't have the hand thing, so I can do it here through the phone. But I want to say that I really like it, and especially because sometimes we talk like I don't know, this thing only como que solo me pasa a mí. So only me, I'm the only one through this situation. But with this program, when we push it to other people, and we can see that, we are on the same boat. And actually, the networking was great. You guys, like Rocio said, you are an inspiration. And I really love this program, and I'm trying not to be too emotional. But I feel really great with this program. So thank you, Monica and Giovanna, for all that sacrifice for us.
Thank you, Kim. And I see, okay, good. So Fabi says that she loves the flexibility of the program so that you can, even if you're in lab or if you're with kids or if you're playing soccer, Rebecca, you can still join in the conversation. Yeah, so that was one of the really crazy things. We didn't know how, whether it was going to work, bringing everybody together through this video technology. And, we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to interact. I know some people don't, like the video. And, obviously it would be great if we could be all together in person. But I'd be curious to hear any other opinions about how well the video component worked and whether if you think that we could make the discussions even more personal or participatory, or how we are always trying to think about how to stimulate that discussion. So any ideas?
Hey, Mari, you have your hand up.
Well, I wanted to mention that I think that is very important for that. As I think that Fabi was the one that mentioned that you are able to feel comfortable in your home, in your lab, with your dogs, and I think that possibility was done because of our personal meeting in Boston, because there we grew this complicity, and with the Huggiverse and with all the activities, and we build those that relationship, so we feel more comfortable around each other. And also, as some people mentioned, that we felt comfortable sharing what we want to do if there is, to become an academic or industry or anything else because of that meeting. So I think that the program, the order of the talks, everything was perfectamente, no me sale la palabra, perfectly organized. So I think that is like magically organized, but I know, I understand that you, both Monica and Joanna, are thinking about this how to organize it well, so feel like like good transitions between one thing to the other. You used like an order. First we had a talk about academic career, then to industry, then go to science policy, and then we end up talking about work and life balance and all that stuff. And I think that it was perfectly organized. And for those first conversations were more about our person, what we want to do as scientists, and then how we do that as people, as people with different limitations working on science. And I don't know, I have this feeling that it was perfectly done. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Hi.
Hi, Gladys, we hear you.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Yes, I would like to thank you for the opportunity. I mean, it was the beginning of a really nice year, academic and professional-wise. And these conversations are perfect because, as you may know, I wasn't able to attend to all of them, but still I got to watch them and listen to them and listen to all the opinions and what everybody else thought about different.
But I was still hoping at that time that he would be in the trouble.
Hello?
We hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
About all of the different things that as a PhD student or a graduate student you go through. And it was really helpful. And I like to thank each and every one for their input. I mean, it was really helpful. Me and in all the different tasks that I became to achieve. I don't know if that's the correct way to say it, but these the technology on the whole process has really helped me, because if not, I would never have heard about all of the meetings and all of your opinions. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Gladys. All right, we have Marcos has his hand raised, and then Bianca.
Hi everyone, hope you're doing great. One thing I want to highlight about the program is the uniqueness this program has. I think this program is unique because unless you are part of it, there's a lot of things that you will not be exposed to. Principally when you are a minority, and a lot of things that when you're not part of a, let's say, training program, like would be RISE or part of an F31 or something like that, there's a lot of professional development area in your in your development that you will not be exposed to unless you're part of a program like this. So I think this program is unique and it's a need for the Latinos community, and also all the minorities. And so for that, I want to thank you, Monica and Giovanna, for letting me be part of this. And I highly recommend this program. So I was talking to a few guys today that were selected to the program for the next cohort. So they were like really excited, asking for opinions of how I think the program is and what was my experience in it. And so you have an excellent recommendation with me. So they are going in with high expectations, and I know that they will get that and more. So I think that's what I have to say.
Thanks, Marcos. Bianca, do you want to add something?
Yes, hi. Okay, so I think we've been saying some really great things, and I think you guys executed a nearly flawless program for the past year, especially managing all 40 of us when we all like love to talk and share our opinions, and we all energize each other, and I love it. One thing that I really took issue with, and I think it's going to be an unpopular opinion, is the AAAS meeting was great. That was phenomenal, and I'm so thankful that we had that opportunity. However, where I felt like we could improve upon is those 2 days that we spent with Boyd. That was his name, right? With Boyd.
Yes.
Okay. So I did not enjoy his presence or his energy per se, in the sense that I felt that we lost time in terms of efficiency and productivity as a group, especially for the first and second years. I think it was appropriate to have those sort of situations and those sessions where we acted silly together to get comfortable with each other. I value that, and I do think that's important, and I acknowledge and recognize that that's important. However, I feel Boyd's background and experience isn't necessarily with scientists, so maybe that was part of it. I'm not sure, but I think having maybe one day of Boyd and maybe an additional day where maybe you and Monica take over for a day and talk about sort of the importance of like networking, or have us sort of reenact like how we would approach somebody who's in our field, or how we would engage in a good networking conversation at the AAA's conference. I guess that's what I was more hoping for in our time spent with Boyd, because I think we can learn a lot from each other, because we're a really intelligent group and we have so many different experiences and we have so much to enrich each other with. And I think we could have really benefited if maybe, for example, the 3rd and the 4th years could have combined with 1st and 2nd years and just like tried to either reenact or walk them through how you would approach somebody in the field, or talk and share about experiences, because I think that's really valuable. And I think we missed out on that in that time period because Boyd was in the way. But I know a lot of people really liked Boyd, but I was one of the few who didn't necessarily appreciate his presence for 2 days. Like I said, I acknowledge that that sort of activity is really important for the cohesion of our group. And I think it did help our group, at least for a couple hours. But I think the most beneficial activity he did was actually the last activity he did, and he spent the least amount of time on it. And in case anybody doesn't remember what the last activity was, it was that extemporaneous speaking where you had to talk about a topic. And it's essentially what you have to do when you talk to somebody you've never met before about your science. Yes, you know your field. No, yes, you know how to speak your language to somebody else who knows it, but you don't necessarily know how to speak that language to somebody. You know, if you're a biochemist, you don't necessarily have all the jargon to talk to a geneticist, but it's important that we figure that out together. And that's all.
I think that's great feedback. That's going to be really, really helpful. I agree. there are things that could have been more efficient. As I think there always is, that you can always be more efficient with your time. But that's really helpful because Boyd he's coming back next year, and right now we're working with him to design what that first and second day are going to be. And so, as Giovanna has mentioned in the chat, the second day that we're together in next year's AAAS meeting, Giovanna and I are going to be participating a lot more. We're going to talk about outreach, or we're going to try to integrate some of the lessons that Boyd is teaching people in terms of networking and effective communication. We're going to try to integrate that a bit more so that it helps people through the rest of the year, particularly with the outreach project. But that's, I think that's valid. If that's how you felt, that's how you felt. And I appreciate you speaking out about it. And I think it's great feedback. I think that, as everybody has mentioned, that in-person meeting, it's, obviously it's about, it's about getting to know each other, and it's about getting some skills that you can apply during the meeting, but it's also about community building. And so if there are ways in which we can make that more effective, and that we could use the strengths of everybody in the room, I think that's wonderful feedback. So thank you.
Yeah, and I don't want to just sit here and complain, but I'm more than willing to help out, provide templates, especially for the networking, because I know our school provides a lot of resources, sort of a little walkthrough of how to, what's a good conversation starter, or ideas, or just, things like that. I can always, give you guys stuff so it'll make it easier to facilitate all that, because I have all these ideas. And so also make sure Boyd is less stubborn, and that he stops talking over people, because that's really important for our age group, right? Especially because there's that age difference that we have. And there's also that weird power dynamic, right? You could tell that he was slightly uncomfortable in the room because of who we were and our knowledge base. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but it made it awkward at times. At least I felt awkward. And it's just be aware of that, and help himself to actually listen. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just going to add, if any of you have additional feedback that you want to send via email, or if you think of things later, feel free. We love to get your recommendations and feedback. And I really like that idea of pairing the later stage students with the early stage students. And yeah, I think it's a great idea to consider, particularly it's very timely because we are talking to Boyd right now and planning for the next session. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's going to be differences of opinion, but it's good to hear that diversity of opinions, because that can help us mediate and attend to different preferences. Oh, Francesca, you're muted.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So part of me agrees with Bianca in the sense that last part that we wanted to do, I was really sad that I actually didn't get to participate. I really wanted to be able to try to explain my science to everyone using that. So I agree that needs to be a part of it maybe earlier on. Another thing that ties in with what Bianca said and what Priscilla said earlier, is that I wish I would have done this when I was the first year or a second year. I think those are the years, at least for me, that I'm in Illinois in the middle of cornfields, that I felt the most alone, and the ones that I felt that I didn't know what to do. And although I do agree, I'm very glad, I'm very happy I did it as a fourth year, I think that we do definitely need a lot more first years to feel motivated to do this. it gives you the tools and the confidence and the network, and just, even though, again, I used it as a fourth year. Thanks to this, I got an internship as a policy intern. So I definitely got a lot of things, but some of the things I had learned through my peers, and I think as a first year, it would have been a lot less tears and more happy to meet you guys and everyone that you meet as you go along in the year. So I agree, pairing fourth and fifth years with like first, second, and third will be really helpful for people who are feeling alone or just lost or whatever the case might be. That's all I wanted to say.
That's wonderful. So one of the things that Priscilla said started me thinking on something that I wanted your feedback, the feedback of the group as well. So, so she said that we didn't overwork you. It wasn't overwhelming. And the work was related to the meetings, which were related to things that benefited you. So, so yeah, we're conscious that you guys have a lot of stuff on your plate, and depending on your careers, you know, your academic stage, you might be, you know, doing rotations or going through quals or writing a thesis. I mean, these are things that take a lot of time and attention. So, you know, we're mindful of that. We're mindful of the times when we have the meetings, but we also want to make sure that we're at least motivating you to think deeply about the conversations we're having and to make the most of them. Very often you can just participate in things without necessarily processing them. And so, you know, I think Monica and I have been, from the very beginning, tried to communicate that, you know, you get out of the program what you put in it. So it's up to you to really think about, you know, well, we're talking about careers in academia. What can I get out of this discussion? And what you can get out of this discussion is not necessarily the same as what another person will get out of it. But what is it that you want to get out of it? But if you have ideas for how we can stimulate that reflection, that personal reflection better, that would be great to know.
So I have a thought on that. I think overall the workshops were very engaging, and I'm usually introverted, so I didn't participate actively in most of them. But I do feel that if you encourage the people who are planning the workshop to make it more dynamic. So going back to the teaching workshop, there were two halves, and the first half was very, very interactive, and then the second half was more of a lecture, and I think that was very reflective on what encourages people to actively participate. And active participation, I think, helps us think deeply, and I don't know, it makes the it makes the experience endure a longer time, or at least that's how I function. But
so you would recommend more kind of breakout groups, or?
Yeah, so the breakout groups were also very good, but just to have the people who are leading the workshop ask questions, not necessarily call anybody out, but leave open questions more frequently, to encourage discussion.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Thanks. Any other ideas or thoughts? Okay, so I'll say something.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you.
So maybe a suggestion could be, and I know you guys have like a website, we have Facebook, we have so many different tools, but and then like Google Docs. It would just be nice to have everything like in one place that has like a calendar and then all the documents that we need and like the links for the YouTube videos, just because it's like user friendly, especially for someone who's like super chaotic and like wants to just get straight to like, what was that workshop that I attended and they said something and there was this one document that I really want to access, but how do I find it? So that's one suggestion I have. Another one is maybe, I know that you guys have like the letter statements that the students have to write in order to get into the program, which will define kind of like what their goal is for the program. Maybe like taking into account some of the specific needs that they're looking for, like the students are. Some might be overlapping, but yeah, so like maybe having like looking over all of their needs and seeing which ones are overlapping and then address them. And I know that like this program is set up like so well. It just covered pretty much everything that you would need to know getting through grad school. So like for instance, since I'm towards the end of my graduate career, I am interested in like really fixing up my CV and my resume, and I'm applying for industry and academic positions. And I recently met someone who is like gave me probably the best feedback for designing my CV for like a medical science liaison or medical affairs job, where my mentor and people that I know in academia, like the feedback that they gave me was totally off than what that industry was looking for. So, you know, it's just like all these tools that we're collecting along the way, like we could easily just post it to that one website, you know, so that future students, like I have this really awesome PowerPoint that was sent to me that I would like to share with everyone. And I know I could just send it, like email it to Monica and Giovanna, and then she'll like send it to everyone, which is fine. But, you know, information just gets lost in like your mailbox. And so if, like I said, if it's just like in one place, like CV building or whatever, like in a folder, and it's like just easy to access even years from now, that'd be great. Oh, and also, yeah, I just wanted to say that I love you guys. And yeah, it's been a pleasure just getting to know everyone. And for me, it's really nice to know that there's a huge network of academic Latinos that are like super driven, and just I know everyone is going to be really successful, and it makes me feel like such a badass for having you guys like in my network, and knowing that in the future, 5 years from now, I could see what you guys are doing, and I know you guys are just going to be doing some really cool stuff, and I'm going to be like, yeah, I know that person, like they're in my network. So
that's awesome. And that's great feedback. Thank you, Cristina. Yeah, we've played around with different platforms. I think we still need to like land on the best one. One of the things I want to try is to maybe develop the website that we do have control over, which is the Ciencia Puerto Rico website, and see if we can create a space there that, you know, it's kind of a resource sharing spot. But yeah, until we do that, I do want to encourage you guys to continue to keep in touch with each other, either through the Facebook group. I think you guys also have a WhatsApp, if I'm not mistaken. And to use the mailing list yourselves. You know, don't feel like you need permission to ask permission about just sending something to the entire group. You know, if you got a fellowship, or if you got a job, or if you want to share a resource that you think is useful, of interest, feel free. That's for you guys. All right, any other ideas? Let's see, there were some other questions that the discussants had, right?
Yeah. Andrew or Gladys, do you want to go ahead and share one question with us?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Another question we had was, how has the program motivated you or influenced you to make smarter decisions in regard to your studies?
Who wants to go first?
Can I talk?
Sure.
Haven't talked tonight. Feel weird. So, okay, Monica, you know me since I was 16 years old. And you know that I always want to do it all and do it at once and do everything and don't miss anything. Like we said in Puerto Rico, don't miss un baile de muñecas. And I think this program is helping me to prioritize what do I need to do now, and what can wait for later. And every time I speak to Monica, we have this conversation. Like, I want to do so many things. How I do it? Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. And she always tells me the same. You need to calm down and think what's gonna help you now, and what can wait. And I think, yeah, it's been amazing to practice that. I'm still getting good at it. But yeah, it's been amazing, and just getting to know you a little bit more, Monica and Joanna, since I know you from so many years, and getting to know all the fellows as well has been amazing. And yeah, I hope to see you soon, see you around.
Go ahead, Bianca. You have your hand raised.
Okay, I'll try to be quick because I've been talking a lot. But I actually think, for me, the conversation that we had on social intelligence, there was something that really struck a chord with me, where the speaker talked about how at the end of the week, one way you can kind of improve upon yourself is think about your actions this week and what you might want to change in terms of your actions and interactions with other people versus what you might want to keep the same. So basically what you want to improve upon. And for me, I've tried to do this every week. Some weeks you forget, but I've tried to at least be more mindful of that, because that actually, my interactions with people dictate a lot of my emotions that I have in my work environment and in my work. So doing that and recognizing and being self-aware of that has helped me to be more productive and efficient in my work. And especially because currently right now, a lot of my work is quite collaborative, and especially I know I can be difficult to get along with, as well as I find a lot of other people difficult to get along with. I'm aware of that, but it's helped me to work on that, work around that, and be more productive and straightforward without being rude or blunt, but being more diplomatic. So, thanks.
Yeah, actually, that was a new workshop we added this year. So I'd be interested in knowing if there was anybody that didn't find like the connection to their academic or professional lives, like just to know if it's something that you guys feel like we shouldn't have at all, if it came out of left field.
Can I make a quick comment? But if somebody else has something to say, go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I actually didn't think I would enjoy that as much as I would, even though like I love reading books and all that stuff. So I don't know why I didn't think I would enjoy it. But I think the timing of it was probably more out of left field, but I know the timing of certain conversations had to be moved around because of events we couldn't control. Totally understandable. I would suggest maybe the social intelligence, either, at least I would suggest introducing the topic at the meeting and talking about it because it's so important, the way that you perceive others and the way that you perceive yourself, and also reading those social cues. That's what makes you a more socially intelligent person. If you're able to read those social cues, reciprocate that feedback or work on that. But as well, I think that's probably one of the most important things that can either define your success or your lack of success in graduate school. And I think it should be one of the first conversations that's discussed in the group because, you know, if you don't get that social aspect together, good luck in graduate school, because even though scientists aren't very socially intelligent, the way that you succeed is being more socially intelligent than others and being able to read and understand people's interactions such that you're able to do productive and collaborative science.
Good. Okay, so framing it and maybe discussing it earlier. Yeah, I think what Rocio is talking about in the chat, Boyd definitely talked a little bit about that emotional intelligence from maybe with a different language, but
yeah, I think we could be more intentional about bringing up the language, since we're gonna bring back that workshop, and so I think there's some concepts that are going to be kind of constant through the program, like science communication or effective communication is one of them, and like mentoring and being proactive. Like there are recurring themes through the program, and I think that's one of them that I don't think we were as intentional about introducing the concept with the same words, talking about the importance of words, and I think that we could definitely bring that earlier. So thank you for that. Anybody else? Let's see, somebody that we haven't heard from. If you have not spoken out loud yet and you want to volunteer, if you want to share feedback or your opinion, your experience, before I start calling you out. All right, really? No one? You want me to call on you?
And the question is Andrew's question, right?
I'll share something.
Go for it. Hi.
So I think it's the first time ever since I started graduate school that I feel comfortable exploring other areas in science, and I think it's really important. The programs I've been in the past, they all require you to want to have a career in academia or something like that. There aren't that many programs that encourage you to explore other routes after a PhD. So I really enjoy that freedom to learn about everything and know what I like and I don't like and stuff like that. And the other thing is, I really enjoy having like all of you and meeting you. Although I didn't, there's some of you I didn't spend that much time talking to you or something. I still feel that I can, at some point in my life, reach out to you and I hope, I know and I hope you're going to be there and help me out or give me advice. And I think that's something really important that I think it was born at the AAA's meeting and kind of grew throughout the year. And I'm very grateful to have all of you as my mentors, I guess, and colleagues. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely count on us continuing to be in touch with you and to be there if you want to get back in touch, talk about what you're doing, or how your lives have gone on. So anything else? What else do you think you'll be continuing to apply next year? The IDP.
So I want to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I will get the most, I have the opportunity to apply to a program lately, and I was using some insight from Monica from let's say to create a good cover letter, and I think I learned a lot in that exercise, although it was a short exercise, but I think that's the kind of experience of let's say the thing of mentorship that you can get from this program. And I was accepted in the program, and the first thing that I do was just take a screenshot and send it to Monica, because I was really grateful about what she do for me and help me. Because when I was looking at the first draft that I sent to her, and then I look at the final product, it was like, well, I was not going to be able to do this without her help. So I encourage you all guys to take advantage of these two amazing women and scientists, Monica and Joanna, that they are here for us and they want to help. So take advantage of that. And I can say that they are really putting all their effort in helping us and helping us to become better. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Marcos. But don't send me or Giovanna 40 statements today. Yeah, I mean, I think, that's helping with letters. This year, several of you asked for letters of recommendation, either from the last year's cohort too. So things like that, you can always count on us, obviously giving us enough time to give you feedback. But I think and I put it in the chat, and just for the benefit of those that can't see it for a reason or another, we've talked a lot about how empowerment is a big part of what we want to achieve with this program. And from what I'm hearing from you, we've at least been mildly successful at that, to be conservative. But I think something that I see a lot with letters, with statements, is that you don't be afraid to own your awesome. You have to own what you've done and what you've accomplished. I know that sometimes it can be really hard, first of all, to toot your own horn and be like, yeah, I'm badass. But, take what Christina said, you're all badass and you're going to all go on and do great things. And so don't be afraid to say that and to own it. There's a fine line between bragging and owning your awesome. Don't brag, because nobody likes bragging. But, don't be afraid to say, I've done this and here's proof of my impact. I think one of the biggest things, and Marcos can speak to how it looked from his end, but, I see a lot of really talented students like you say, please accept me. If you would give me the opportunity, I promise you, I won't disappoint you. But, you don't need to beg anybody. They need you, so tell programs why they need you, why you're going to make their program, whatever it is that you're applying for, better, what you're going to bring to the table, do that. And don't be afraid to own your awesome. That's a brief summary of the process that I often go through when I'm helping students with statements, with CVs, with things like that. Don't be afraid to own your awesome.
Hi. On that, okay, back to, it would be nice to have everything centralized in one place, but I I just remember when I was applying for the, or when I was in the SMDP program, which some of you guys are applying for, I had to create my business cards. And like, I just remember sending, like, I had been working on it, and I sent it to like my friends and my mentor, and like, didn't hear back. And some of my friends were like, oh, looks great. And I'm just like, that's not what I wanted to hear, but thank you. And then I just sent it to the WhatsApp group. And I mean, I got immediate responses, and like, it was like the best feedback that I could have gotten. And I got it done within a couple hours, and it looked way better than what I started. And with that, I think that it would be really awesome if, like, for instance, you helping Marcos with his letter and like your input, it's excellent. And it'd be really nice to see like an example so I could refer to when I need it. I mean, it's not going to be just, you know, all at the same time, right? But it would be nice to just go to one place and see, okay, I want to, right now I'm working on this cover letter for this specific job. And then like there we could see examples of, okay, hey guys, I'm working on this. This is what I need help with. If you can give me feedback when you have time, that would be great. And then I know you're really busy, Monica, you're really busy, Giovanna, but sometimes like some of the other students might have like a free moment and they might look over it and provide some really great insight. And, you know, if you guys have time too, you can go in there and provide insight, but then everyone can see everyone's feedback. And I don't know, I just feel like that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I completely.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys.
I see your wheels are turning.
Huh?
I see your wheels are turning.
No, but I mean, you guys, you know what you need to do. You know, I think Monica and I many times like maybe reinforce the little voices in your head that are already there. But you know, you and now you guys all know each other. You know how amazing each other is. Yes, sometimes it's difficult for one when you're writing about yourself to like really present yourself in a way that will stand out because, you know, we're humble or because we don't want to brag. But that's like one of the best solutions for that problem is to talk to somebody else who knows, you know, how amazing you are, knows all the shit you've done, and can tell you, well, what about this? Why didn't you put this in your cover letter? Why don't you highlight this other thing more? And, you know, you don't, yes, I think Monica and I would be happy anytime you need, you know, feedback, we'll be there. But you guys are an amazing resource for each other as well. So definitely. And I'm so happy to hear that you've already been using this community for that purpose. Yeah, so, you know, I think it's an incredibly valuable resource that you guys have that I hope that you keep using. So yeah, and I'm going like, yes, thinking about how to continue to promote that.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, this is Diana. I just want to say that I really enjoyed the program. I was really grateful to be chosen, and I think it was very great. It really made me think about my professional development and things that, well, you don't really think about if you're just really focused on doing research. So it just made me, like, whenever we had like those assignments and things like that, it made me, like, it motivated me to do a little bit more research about different opportunities and different fellowships and of different skills that you can and should develop that you don't necessarily develop them only in the lab, like leadership skills and stuff like that, communication skills, like public speaking. So I really did enjoy all of that. And also, I think that it made me realize of things that I felt that I really didn't even know. For example, I think it was the social intelligence ones, in which the guest speaker was telling us how sometimes when you're a minority, you have like this, you feel like you represent like your people, and that if you like fail or you're not doing as great as you think you do, you feel like the department or your boss is like never going to hire somebody from your background again. And I really didn't know I felt that way until the person was like talking about it. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know why I feel that way. Like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself? So it was really neat to kind of like discover things that I really didn't even know that I actually felt, and to kind of like think about those things deeper and try to like sort things out and be like, you know, you shouldn't feel that way. Like, that's not cool, and you shouldn't feel like you have all that pressure on you. You're just like a normal person. So I did think that it was a great experience. And I think my favorite thing of it is that you guys send us a lot of like opportunities that I would like never know on my own. So I do like appreciate that you have like the listserv, and you send like all these fellowships and postdocs and all these opportunities. I think that's one of the most powerful things that this program has, is that actually you know people, network, and you also learn about other opportunities that you can take advantage of. So thank you for all your hard work, and I think it was awesome, and I recommend it to everybody. I actually have a friend that applied too, so she might be in the next class. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Yana. All right. So we're taking notes of all of these things you're saying, and it's good to hear positive reinforcement.
Please keep sending emails about all the opportunities.
We will. We'll definitely continue sending you stuff. Anybody else? Let's see. We have about 20 minutes left.
One more thing. So I remember when we had that Facebook Live meeting interview, I learned a little bit about like what we could do with our outreach projects, and so I don't know, it'd just be nice to see what some other of the fellows have done that they're proud of, like the successful outreach projects. So like I know Manny, like he started talking about it, I was like, I had no idea what you did. So I would like to know a little bit more. Made me really proud, but yeah, it'd be really nice to know more about like successful outreach projects that we've actually carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, just to follow up on that, would you like to hear about it? Because I mean, the thing is, like, people do it at different times of the year, so we'll definitely, after, you know, probably shortly after the end of the year, we'll look at everything that you've done and all the evidence that you guys have submitted. So, you know, we ask you for that evidence form, and it's not just so that, you know, to torture you, but we actually look at things, and we really want to we want the world to know the amazing things and the creative things that you all are doing with your outreach projects and through the program, but also because a lot of what you're creating can be resources for people at many different levels. So we'll definitely, after, you know, the program year is done, we're gonna collect everything and look at everything and figure out, you know, what are the best ways to put them out there, to share them with the world. But we put them on the website. So last year we collected everything, and all of the things that were shareable, we did. But, you know, if you have ideas in terms of like how you would like to see, like you, Christina, or anybody, how you would like to see things like these outreach projects highlighted and promoted, like we'll definitely put them on the website. We want to highlight them individually through our social media platforms. But if you have ideas in terms of how we can increase the impact that you've already had through them, would love to, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, if you don't have any ideas now, feel free to email us, Monica specifically, because that's definitely something we're going to be expanding next year and focusing more energy on. And I don't know if you saw this, Monica, but Simara asked on the chat if we're satisfied with you guys' development and commitment, or if we feel that you could have done this or that better. I have to say, I mean, one of the beauties of this program is that we get to know you guys, and it really fills me with so much energy. You guys, you know, are all incredibly inspiring. I think by the very nature of applying to this program and committing to go through the sessions, you're already demonstrating that you're committed to your professional development. And, you know, it's a really momentous decision when you say, I'm going to focus on becoming the best that I can be. And it, you know, it gives me hope for the future if I'm going to get like very sappy. But it also, you know, I get to know these amazing people and be inspired by them and be able to cheer you guys on. You know, I think we can definitely see a development and a progress in you. I think the one-on-one conversations really help with that. And that's where we can see, you know, what areas you're focusing more on, what, you know, where are the challenges for each one of you, and we can see how you're actively thinking about how to resolve them. And you know, I've never been disappointed in any of those conversations. So I want to thank all of you for putting so much of yourselves into the program as well.
Yeah, I echo that. You know, it's really like you are the reasons why I love my job so much. You know, having the opportunity to see all of you grow and discover things and you know, push yourselves beyond what you think you are capable of is really, really amazing. You know, I don't have any kids, but I feel like maybe that's how parents feel as they see their children develop. So you know, some of you are younger than me, and some of you are kind of maybe closer to age, but to me, you're like, oh, like my kids. You're like, oh, like I truly love seeing you out in the world and doing things and really realizing how amazing you are. You know, you've said so many beautiful things and about, you know, how what Giovanna and I do as leaders, and you know, that's what we're here for. But it's really, you guys inspire me more than I think I can inspire you. Like it truly, I truly mean it. Like it's so, sometimes you know, when we have the individual meetings, like, you know, we each have to meet with about 20 of you, and with the busy schedules that we have, that can be a lot. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, I'm hoping that I can be focused in this meeting, because then afterwards I have to do things. But, you know, to me, I think one of my favorite things besides the in-person meeting is those one-on-one meetings, because I feel like I really can be a resource for you. And I know this because I do it myself. Like sometimes when you're talking and you're saying things or going through things, it's hard to see sometimes how amazing you are, but I see it. We see you. We really do see you. And I want you all to know that you inspire us to do better, to continue making a difference. And it's the spirit of constructive feedback. One thing that I wish that you could do better, it's read the things that we send you. Sometimes we send you things and then you're like, what about this? And I'm like, you send you a document that I spent hours reading, read it. But, we understand that it's, you're overwhelmed. You have a lot of things coming your way. You're still figuring things out. So I don't blame you, but read the thing that I sent you.
Yeah, and sometimes, I think some things might, maybe a discussion right now might not be the time for you to directly apply what you're hearing. But I believe, and I think some of you have already said it, that, it's important for you to be exposed to these conversations and these topics. And if maybe right now it's not the time for you to consider, a particular topic, or you don't see how it applies to you, I'm pretty sure that at some point down your career, all of the discussions will be relevant. Yeah. So Priscilla, do you want to speak up? I'm curious to know what you're saying that happened to you.
No, yeah. So in general, because I just started my second year, there's a lot that I just can't do right now, just because of the stage that I'm in. But that doesn't mean that I can't take advantage of it in the future, and especially that you guys document everything, and I know that I'm gonna be able to access it when it's time for me to, apply for fellowships and do all those things. So yeah, we were talking in the chat earlier. Marcos was saying something about it, that this is good for all the stages of your PhD, and yeah. But I because I'm in my first and second year, I just couldn't take advantage right now of those opportunities. But keep those emails coming, and we'll take advantage of those when the time comes.
Cool. Any other final words or thoughts?
Gladys.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, sorry. Was I muted? Who was talking? Somebody said, I think. And
I was going to say something and then.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I didn't know if anybody else was going to speak.
No, go ahead.
Kind of to echo what Francesca said earlier, that she wished she had done this earlier in her graduate career, and to reflect on what Priscilla just said, I am very thankful that I had the opportunity of doing this early on, because it helped me thinking, even though I wasn't writing fellowships at the time, or I'm not writing a paper, it does change the way that I think about my project, and the way that I plan my experiments, and the way that I interact with my PI. So I think it's been very helpful in all of the different components of the grad school career.
Good.
Great. I wanted to see if Gladys wanted to. She's the only discussant that hasn't asked a question, and I wanted to see if she wants to share the last question with us. Gladys, are you there? You're muted if you are talking. Can't hear you.
ellas se iban lejos.
Oh, you're muted, Gladys.
Right, maybe anybody else that has a question that you may want to share or parting words?
Before we close off, I just want to give you a couple of, just some feedback about how we're going to actually close off the program. So as you know, in the program, once we finish it, if you completed the requirements that you agreed to that are in the program guide, then you'll officially get the title of Yale Ciencia Academy alumni, and you'll receive a badge that you can put on your LinkedIn page. It's a really beautiful badge that's linked to the professional development sessions that you went through and the things that you were exposed to. You'll also get a pin. We're sending all of you pins. It's really pretty. And what was the third thing, Monica? A certificate. A beautiful certificate that you can display. So, but in order for that to happen, there's a couple of, if you had missed a session at some point, and you're below the requirements. I think we had originally said 6 out of 8 conversations with scientists, and 4 out of 6 peer mentoring chats. No, 4 out of 6 workshops. I can't remember. It's in the guide, which you probably already read. One of the conversations with scientists were taking out of the equation because it was the day that Hurricane Maria came through. So, we are not counting that one. But you'll receive an email from Janet Damaris if there's anything that we're still missing from you, any evaluation or evidence that you watch one of the videos. So just please feel free to ask us if you're confused about what your requirements are. But if you complete them, then you'll get all of those things that I mentioned, and you'll officially get the Yale Ciencia Academy alumni title. And we'd really appreciate your help with completing the requirements. After that, you're also going to receive the final survey for the program. We want to evaluate what the impact of the program is on you and on your career expectations and your professional development. And just to incentivize you to complete that survey, you'll also be getting a gift card if you complete it. So be on the lookout for that email, which will probably come in either before Christmas or right after New Year's, and complete it as soon as possible. So I think that's it. And then, as Monica mentioned, throughout the year, we're also going to be highlighting some of the outreach activities that you did. So, you might get pinged on Facebook or on social media about that. So I just wanted to make sure if there's any questions. Are there any questions about kind of the closeout of the program and the expectations for finishing off? Bianca.
Is there a way to ensure that we attended enough workshops? Do we have a count of that somewhere?
Yes, we don't have it public, and we are going through it. So Janet will contact you if there's any session that you've missed. So if you don't get an email from Janet, then just assume that you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Great. So that's it. I don't know if anybody wants to share any final words before we sign off. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, it's been such a pleasure to get to know all of you. Some of you I knew a little bit, but the program has allowed me to get to know all the wonderful things you do, and all the challenges and opportunities that are ahead for you. And I'm really, I really want to make sure that that we're here for you, and that hopefully you'll see that you're here for each other as well. I hope you remember some of the conversations we've had, particularly that empowerment component. We want you to know that you have the power in terms of your graduate training. You chose to dedicate yourself to research for an extended period of time. It's not an easy thing. We know graduate school is challenging, research is challenging. And sometimes, you get thrown into situations that are not ideal, but it's, you have the power to look for advisors, to build your community, to get, find resources that you need. And so, we want you to know that it's not, you're not floating in this world. You're tied to this network, you're tied to this community, and we're here for you guys. So
yeah, you're stuck with us forever. Yeah, I co-sign everything that Giovanna said. Please continue to be in touch, continue to shine. Don't continue to own your awesome. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you. It's been a real pleasure to witness each one of you bring your whole selves into this program in very different ways, and allowing us to bring our whole selves into this with you. Bless you. So I really, it's been great. It's been a gift to work with you this year. And so please stay in touch. We will continue to be a resource for you, for each other. Don't forget that you have, 41 other people that are here to cheer you on and support you. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Hope you eat a lot of lechon or whatever you like.
Yeah, and I hope you get power soon. And I hope that for those of you in Puerto Rico, and I hope that, that you can get to spend some quality time and self-care. It's been a difficult year in many ways for many of us. So take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you, guys.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Goodbye.